Hello boys and girls, this time it's a little bit of programming. For my one of my upcoming Arduino projects, I wanted to build something which would display informations from a web server which serves this information in an XML, and I was looking how to parse this XML. So I realized there is a nice programming environment, processing, which would be the link between a computer connected to the internet and the Arduino connected through USB, and thus serial communication to this computer which has access to the internet, because I want sort of to have informations from the internet displayed in an Arduino gadget, but I don't want this Arduino gadget to have its own internet access. I want it to connect this Arduino gadget to a computer which would fetch the information from the internet and send it to the Arduino, and the relay which would get the information from the internet and somehow parse it and send it to the Arduino will be done in processing. It's processing.org, a nice little tool, and I'm just learning it. So if I want to have some output in this console window, I just type print line and whatever I want. So if I write print line, it will run a program window which you don't see on the stream, but the program window doesn't display anything. The only output of this code is displayed right here in this console window, which I have capture mouse cursor, capture layered windows maybe. Wow, no, that was the wrong thing. Properties, not capture layered windows. We would want this rather. I guess. Yeah, well, I don't know why you can't see my mouse cursor, but now you can. Hey, that's good. Okay, perfect. I just have to have the window active. So yeah, that's completely irrelevant. So print line is just a way to output things we catch here. So we will work with this code, which is here in a library or tutorial thing. So suppose we have this XML here. So we create, this is the object type XML. We create an XML object, call it XML, and we say it will load an XML. So yeah, I think this XML has to be stored as a file in our project folder. Let me quickly do that. It has to be called mammalsxml. I will paste it. I will delete the comments. Save it. Close it. There is a mammalsxml now in my folder. So it will load the XML in the XML object. Then it will create an XML array called children, and it will get in this array, it will load all the children it can find in the XML object, which are called animals. So there is this mother tag, and it has 3 children, 3 animal tags. So the XML array should contain these 3 animal tags now, because all are called animal. And now there's just a for loop which will go through all children. It will get this get int and get string. I have looked up these methods. They get a value of an attribute. So get integer is not just get any integer, but read the attribute called ID, and what it says, that interpret that as an integer. Similar here, getString actually means read the attribute called species, and what it says, that you get as a string, and save it in the nonsensically named variable coloring. And then GetContent is the same, but it's not for attributes. I actually get the content of an element, and element is basically a tag. This is a paired tag, so it gets the element, the whole element in the child, and get its content. Content is here in between these tags, so that's why it types the ID, or the value of the found in the attribute ID, the value or the string found in the attribute species, and the content in found in these tags. So let me check this quickly if it does what it does. Yeah, it does what it does. So the output is pretty much the same. So this is how we can parse an XML. Now, what I want now is to parse a real XML. This is an example XML. So I was thinking having an Arduino gadget which would have a display, and on this display it would be like a news ticker or ticker of several information, and one of these information would be like current or latest earthquakes somewhere in the world. So there's a server providing information about the latest earthquakes. I have it somewhere here, seismic portal, and there is a query. You can send a query to this server, and it returns an XML. So if you load this address, what it returns is an XML. I have yeah, that's actually fine. It gets the XML. We will have the XML, probably XML children. We will get the XML children. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, whatever. So it will get some. It will get some XML children. I'm looking at the XML code. I mean, I can show you what it does. I should share here I should share a thing here in Google. I mean in Chrome. You should probably see it. Add window capture, Chrome, seismic portal. Yeah, so this is the address, seismic portal, and here you can specify. It's got web services, and here you can specify your query. If, let's say you want only an XML which would contain earthquakes in a certain time span or certain geographical area or of certain minimal maximal magnitude, whatever. I leave it as default values. I only want a limit is how many items of output you want. So I want just a single output. So this is according to these parameters. I have left everything to default. I have a very simple query. This is the query which if I call through a browser, it will return this XML, right? And this XML contains all the information on the latest latest event in earthquakes. So here we can see it's like a quake markup language, an XML standardized for carrying information over earthquakes. It's got some ID. Each earthquake event has some ID to track it in an earthquake database, and so on and so on. So creation info, here we in this tag we see which earthquake agency created this XML or registered this sort of earthquake. So it's in some European whatever seismic center. I don't know what this means. Here we can see when it was created, description. Yeah, so in which earthquake region did it occur? These earthquake regions are typed or categorized. There are like dozens of earthquake regions over the earth, and they have some normalized names, like Central California being one of them. So there was somewhere in the region Central California was an earthquake right now, like 2241 Zulu time. This is the latitude and longitude of the earthquake. How deep was the center of the earthquake? Like 6 kilometers under the earth surface. With what method it was identified, probably. I don't know what this is, maximum. I don't understand much about earthquakes, but it was automatically evaluated. So there's some automatic machine which looked at the event and said, okay, it looks pretty much like an earthquake to me. I create this event. But the nice thing I want to get is the magnitude. So it was a very weak earthquake, only 2.1 on the earthquake, on the Richter scale, I think it is, or maybe it's no longer called Richter scale. What is MD? I don't know exactly. I'd have to read that up. Yeah, so basically my Arduino gadget will probably only display the date and time of the earthquake event and the Fing-Engdahl region, like where in the world region, and maybe latitude, longitude as well if I want. So yeah, latitude, longitude, the region, and the magnitude of the earthquake. So when did it occur? Where was it? And of what magnitude it was. So that's these values I want to extract from this XML, and I get the XML if I query their web server here. So that's why I have written. That's why I have written this. So this XML object should now contain what we saw in the XML, and now I somehow have to get all the children having the tag animal. Well, that's not what I want. I want the all children. The children, actually, I should look up if there is another way to browse through the XML thing instead of get children, whether there is not load byte, load strings, XML, parse XML. There's also something like a parse XML function. Something like a parse XML function. Hello, why can't I? Parse XML. So this is how you parse XML in processing. First child, get child animal. Okay, so you have to specify parse XML, XML string options. Okay. First child, get child animal. I guess we could use something like a. So we create an object XML child. We create an XML object first child. Okay, so then we create another. Okay, so how about we use this instead? Because I don't really want some load. What's the difference between load XML and parse XML? Takes a string. Ah, I see. This one takes a string as XML. It returns an XML object, whereas the load XML procedure gets loads an XML file. So we really need an XML file. Yeah, parse XML means parse a string which is actually an XML. So we really want load XML. Okay, then it's fine. Parse XML. So the parse XML and then if XML null println first child. So each XML object either through load XML. So load XML returns an XML object, and each XML object has the method GetChild, returns the child element with the specified index value or path. So if we have an XML object, which we have, I create another XML object called first child, and I say, well, you get it from this XML. It's the tag with called animals. So that's useful. That's useful. We can do that. So if I say here, I don't want an XML array. I want, since we have this XML. I'll create another XML object. XML object. We will call it. Yeah, what sort of information do we want? Let me browse quickly through the XML. We want something like creation time. So can we browse? Let's say if we can. So we can go as deep as creation time, or whether we need first to parse this child, or it's not exactly a child, is it? Maybe we will have to. First child could be like creation info, because this is some of the content of the first child creation. But I'll try it. What happens if I say creation time here? So let me check. I'm not familiar with parsing XMLs. Equals, and then I want we will read this from the XML we have, and it's called GetChild, I guess, and it will find the child in as creation time indeed. So yeah, and we will not need this GetChild. However, the GetChild does not return string, does it? Let me quickly see. Yeah, print line. It creates an object. It's an XML object. We have said that creation time is an XML object, and to print it, we must say creation time get value, maybe. Oh, get content, right? Get content. All right, and this. Ooh, this is no longer the thing, and this is no longer the thing. So let's NullPointerException. Yep. So it seems as if the creation time, we're not able to get child creation time. So maybe we can instead get creation info, because creation time is not really a child. So save this. NullPointerException. Okay, that's interesting. Get child creation info. So how would you go about this? There is I'll have the structure of the XML posted here in this. Let me quickly thread it. I'll need it as a comment, and so this is the XML we get. So maybe we should creation info. What if I say get event, maybe? Will it get an event? NullPointerException. Maybe I should read up on GetChild then. First child, GetChild returns a returns the first of the element's children that matches the name parameter, the name or path. String element is so if this example code has an XML like this, it is able to get inside the first tag called animal and get its content. Let's actually try to debug this. Maybe the server doesn't send us anything, so let's create a file on my hard drive where I will copy. Maybe this is some sort of demo access, as you can see here. Maybe it's a demo access, so maybe they only provide this to registered users or whatever, so when I send my query, it doesn't actually get any XML. So I'll try to read this XML from my hard drive. So let's narrow down the problem. So, okay, save it. So now the XML is on my hard drive. Right, I will save this and parse it. NullPointerException. GetChild event. Oh, okay. Let's get another child. Let's do it basically like the GetChild preferred origin ID. Do this. NullPointerException. Okay, if I do this with our Mammals XML, the Mammals XML contains a child called animal. Ah, I see. GetChild. There is maybe a problem with GetChild, because what if there are more children of this? Well, then there are more. They have shown. Yeah. Now this works. It gets the goat here. This is strange. So from this XML, so there is this is the Mammals XML file I have on my hard drive. From this XML, it can get into the tag mammals. Doesn't even care that it's inside some sort of tag, and it gets the first child and prints its content here in the console. So this works. And I have another. So this is the Mammals XML, and this is my Quake XML, right? So if I now read the Quake XML and I say okay, maybe it's because I don't really have. Let's get text. maybe it has to be a pair tag, whatever. Print animal, get content. Okay, let's save this, parse this. NullPointerException, okay. GetChild. So what's wrong with GetChild? Ah, sorry. Yeah. Focus tab. I don't. Yeah. So sorry. No, I was just showing that if I have this. If I use the mammalsxml, right? Like this is a XML file I have on my hard drive called mammalsxml, and I load it, and I say I declare a variable animal, and I say whatever is like get one of the child tags animal, save it there, and then get its print its content. So it prints goat. I have another XML file called Quake XML. If I load that and try to I don't know, like get child agency URI or whatever, try to print that, I get a null pointer exception. So that's puzzling, you know. XML. I wish I could see inside the structure. Maybe this debugging thing will help me. Yeah, there is another debugging window. Window capture. Debugging. Yeah, so we have a debugging window over here. And what if I say debug toggle breakpoint? Okay, let's have a breakpoint here. And let's debug it. Right, so here we have it. We have as a variable, we have an XML, and we see that it has children. It has processing data XML3 instance of processing. It has 3 children. I don't know why. Does it have 3 children? Maybe it's this child. Maybe it's this child, this child, this child, because it ends here, it ends here, it ends here. Oh wait, that's not true. So this is like nested tags, right? So it actually has only, this is the mother tag, this is the QQuake ML. I see. And then it has, so these are pair tags, event parameters and event. I see. So they are actually nested, although they are. So what is the first child here? Instance. It's a node. Goodness. sibling, parent. Okay, processing 1, children. I have no idea. Animal, and animal is null yet. Children. So it looks like there is three. A children is an array and it has 3 elements. 0 is the first child. Me and do this. Add the window capture. Debug. Let me do this a bit bigger. So it has 3 children. Node serial version. What is this? What is all this? Entity node, processing instruction, document and type node, notation node, instance of node list, previous sibling, next sibling. These are these some memory addresses? But what I'm actually looking for is something like the node name. Parent. Why does it not see the node name? Okay, so let's have it easier. Let's parse the mammals and let's parse the animal instead. So let's debug. So we have an XML object. It has 6 children. 1 node. That's the node name. Yeah, I've seen this. The problem is that the first, although it has 3 children, like these 3 animals, it has six items in the array, and from what I have seen, they are ordered like, for whatever reason, like type and thing. So I can show you. I think if I show you the get children, right? So we have the that's not true. Oh, maybe I should have. No, I saw something. GetChild X. GetContent to string format. There was something like get children. Get parent, get name, get attribute count. No, that's the other list attributes. Get string, get int. Get content, no. Where did I see this? Gets XML data as a string. No, it's not what we want. Nice. I saw something like look up Parse XML. Maybe it's Parse XML. Yeah. Parse XML. XML string options. Most useful when pulling data dynamically. Well, parse XML is just parsing a string. You give it a string which can be interpreted as an XML, or which was actually an XML, and it parses it. So load XML is just the same. So it loads either a file or a web resource, and as it's XML. So I have those files on the hard drive, so it's fine. I just wanted to point out that the XML array is actually twice as long as the list of children, and I just can't see it. Load bytes, load table, load strings, maybe. No. GetChild and GetChildren. GetChildren gets a whole array. Yeah, whatever. So don't worry about it. So what we see here in the mammals, in the mammals XML, so it has. We clearly see that the structure says it's got 3 children, but it has loaded an array of 6, which have the name animal. Yeah, so it might be very confusing. How come we get 6 elements of which match the label animal if we have only 3 animal tags? I don't know whether it counts this opening tag as one element and the closing tag as another element. But the thing is, this first one has absolutely no data. And the second one suddenly, magically, has data. It has a name and it has, well, it has a name. It should have a value as well. Or content, or something like content. So get content. So if I get child animal. Wait. Animal. So what is actually saved in the animal is this. Animal parent node. And what is its content? How does it get its content? entity node. I don't know, it's like magic. To me. So what continue? Why can't I debug it anymore? It has printed goat, but where did it get goat, I ask? Where did it get the information goat if it is not contained in document node? What if I say we get an XML array and get children, and then first don't print anything. So we got an XML and there is no XML animal. Okay, there's no XML array animal. I don't understand why don't we get an XML array animal? XML array animals. You should be able to get. Of course, yeah, that's it. So we just play it. Continue. Stop. Play. Local variable is okay. Animals and for example length, that seems reasonable. So we've got animals, we get 3 pieces of information. XML array animals. Node, name, animal, attribute. Okay, it's interesting. So what if we get, now we have an array of 3. And if I read my Quake and I get children event, I'll get an event. Debugger halted and step. It says it has length of 0. But at least I got something which is not null. What if I get child? If I get child event, the length cannot be resolved. Yeah, what sort of XML object can I use here? Formats XML as a string. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. It's format string XML format 5. Yeah, that's fine. This is good. Let's use this. Let's use this. We have a string s, and it's event format, and that will be something like for indentation, and then we print s, right? S doesn't exist, of course it doesn't. Now it exists. Oh, come on. Okay, I guess we have to declare it. That's it. Stop. So debug this. Now we see some exceptions here. Now we're coming closer. So NullPointerException, Parse XML. Have you tried using getChildren? Yes, getChildren returns an array of children, but since this XML has only, I don't know, it has only one child basically. It's got this QQuakeML. It's not even the child. It's the parent. It's the parent tag, and it's got one child. But what if we go back to the Mammals XML and say parse mammals and get something called, I don't know, event, but it will actually be the child tag animal, right? So debugger halted at the halting point, and I step, and so this is what it got. It created an XML variable event, and it only contained the animal. So right, this is the XML header, and it only contains the animal tag. So far so good. And then it formats the contents of this XML as a string and prints it out in the console. So far so good. We know this. So it creates a string which has some indentation, formatting, and whatever. Now if I load the Quake XML and I say, okay, let's get the first, or let's experiment with the Mammals XML further. What if I say get child and the child is called actually Mammals? Does it get anything? Doesn't get anything. That's right, because Mammals is not a child. It's the parent tag. Just as much as my QQuakeML is a parent tag. So what would structurally correspond to the animal first child here is actually event parameters. So let's get QuakeXML and get event parameters. So let's stop and save and try. Debugger halted. Yes, and we are there. And step, and there we are. Look at the output of the console. It got the child tag event parameters. So that's what I needed. Right, so now we actually have some meaningful content. GetChild. Event parameters. Yes, so now maybe we can navigate to, let me briefly show Chrome again. Remind me if I forget to switch it off again so you can see the program code window. So XML GetChild. There was something like an index and name, so returns the first of the element children that matches the name parameter. GetChild index, GetChild, and string. What is this name? String, element name, or path to element? So can it be that if I have an animal nested in a child, I could navigate to it? Let me modify the Mammals XML to something like animal, let's say complex and subchild, and then have something. So I have added to the XML I have on my hard drive, I have added some more structure. I have added this. So let's suppose we have another child on the same level as animal, which is called complex, and this has a subchild. So let's go back to our mammals. GetChild, which is called complex, and it doesn't want it. Why doesn't it want it? If I say GetChild, which is called animal, it will want it, but it will not want a child called complex. Path is probably for nested structures. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So why does it find animal and why doesn't it find the tag complex? Because it doesn't contain anything but another tag, maybe? I have no idea here. What does it write? Handle. I don't understand these error messages. NullPointerException. And what if I say complex and subchild? What does it do? The same error. So how do you navigate in this? Oh wait, did I actually save it? I have to see. No, I didn't save it, of course. I'm so stupid. Right, so I didn't save the XML. So on my hard drive it was still not saved. So let's do this again. Halted and step. Excellent. So you can really navigate through the tags like this. So this works. So it goes into the, so, and what if I say only this, halt and debug and step? Yep. Excellent. So it got the complex tag and it has some, so we don't really need the debugging window here anymore, do we? Not for the moment. I think I'm getting the hang out of this right now. So right now this one got the contents of the complex tag, and if I say okay, I know the structure of the complex tag, it has a sub tag which is called subchild, so it will fetch me the contents of the subchild tag. And I don't know why does it write this? Can't you just, because I interrupted it during run or whatever. Halted and step. Yeah, exactly. Format. Wonderful, wonderful. Event. That's it. And I could as well instead of formatting this event, I could just say print whatever event, and is XML has, what does it have? GetContent, right? Of course. GetContent should be able to get content of it. So stop and parse and halted and why halted step something. Excellent. So I don't need the breakpoint here anymore. So pink. It works. It works. It just works. Okay, that's what I basically need. So now that I can navigate in this mammals text, let's place mammals text way down below, since I don't think we will ever need it anymore. So let's get to the real stuff. So we have a earthquake event XML, and that is, so it's got, this is like the parent, we ignore that. The first child is event parameters. Let's first say we need quake XML. We will get event parameters. That has a subchild which is called event. And from this tag we are interested in the creation, creation info pretty much. And then are there C libraries for this, for the Arduino? You ask for XML parsing? I don't know, to be honest. As I said in the introduction to this stream, where you haven't been here, this programming environment I'm doing is not Arduino. This is called processing, and it will be the link between my Arduino gadget and the computer connected to the internet, because you can connect an Arduino gadget to the internet with a Wi-Fi shield or with a Ethernet shield or whatever, but that's not what I want to do. I want to connect the Arduino gadget to the computer via the USB cable. The computer will run something like this processing script, which will then fetch information from the internet and pass it through the USB serial communication to the Arduino gadget. So yeah, this parsing script or whatever it is will relay information which the computer got from the internet, and it will pass it through the USB serial communication to the Arduino, and that will display it. So my computer will get the data about the latest earthquake from this server in form of this XML. This thing will parse it to get the information I'm interested in from this XML and send it through the USB serial cable to the Arduino gadget, and it will display it on a display. So that's the whole idea. So I'm not really interested whether I can parse XML with Arduino, because what my Arduino will get is just the data I want to use. It basically gets the string or the bytes of string which will it output on a display, and it will get it from a computer through this processing thing. So creation info, and here we know that it has another child, and that is creation time. And I hope time is not a keyword. Let's call it creation time. Okay, and let's run this. Yeah, exactly. So we got what we have here, and now instead of accessing, well, yeah, actually, let's have this accessed further. Then we will not access a locally saved XML file, but we will get this file from a server, from an earthquake monitoring site, which will hopefully get us a server. So this is wonderful. GetChild. So here we get the creation time. Next information I'm interested in is the region where it happened. So we will just say region will get a child. Instead of creation info, it will go to description, and it will get me the text. Okay. It will print me this. So let's test it. Yeah, that's perfect. And then I'm interested in, okay, this is the creation time. I don't want the creation, I actually want the event time. Okay, so let's say instead of description, I want origin, and I want time, and then I want value. Okay, let's run it. That's it. Oh, hello, Tom. So we have the time of the earthquake, latitude, longitude, of course. We want latitude and longitude. How do we navigate there? Origin, then we have time value. So it's pretty much like this. Yeah, it doesn't want it, of course. Time value, and instead of origin, we want, instead of time, we want latitude or longitude, and it will be, oh, come on, printed, print line, and we will say latitude longitude let's run it. Yes, except for this. Yep. Then I think this is, yeah, well we can play with it later. So latitude, longitude I will want. Depth, I'm not really sure I'm interested in depth. How deep under the surface the quake originated. Depth type from location, origin, Geiger, phase count. I don't know what these mean. I'm interested in the magnitude then. Magnitude, that's it. Magnitude mag value. Okay, so instead of origin, get an XML object. Magnitude is magnitude mag value, and we will print magnitude. So this is nice. This is nice. So that's all I want. So we have successfully extracted information from this XML. Yeah, there will be some other parts around it that I will want to separate or interpret this string as a real date and time, and perhaps convert it to my local time zone and everything. But that's just basically for free. I don't need to get much into that right now. And I think we are done here. So now, instead of taking the XML from my local hard drive, it will actually get it from the server. Let's try that. And so when we started programming, the latest earthquake event in the world was somewhere in Central California, magnitude 2.1, and I believe by now there's something else what happened. Busy. Yeah, you see we have now got a new XML from the web server. The most recent earthquake event was in the Costa Rica border region, latitude, longitude, this, that, and magnitude 3.4. Very nice. And Redsox says you might want to add error checking too. If you read from the web, could break down the site and so on. Yes, you're right. How do you do that? How do you do that? I think I saw some error catching and coding. So let's see what it can do with them. We had load XML. Doesn't really show any, but it has some error handling. So let's get to the reference here. Reference, and it has some. I saw something like with and try. This is pretty much like in Python. I know that we do try something, and then catch exception, and that's it. So the try keyword with catch to handle exceptions. Try statements, catch exception, and catch statements. Yeah. Stack trace. Yeah, why not? Why not? So let's do this. So I'll copy this structure to my code. Void setup. Why is it in void setup? Yeah, whatever. So I have a try statements. So try will be XML load, right? It catches an exception. Okay, so what sort of, I need to declare a variable type for the exception, right? There is an IO exception. Goodness. Catch IO exception. Why can't I find the type IO exception? Why does it say only exception? The Java exception that was thrown. Why there is no IO exception? Try catch exception E. Okay, I'll try that. Try exception E. Exception E. IO exception. Okay, let's call it IO exception. IO exception E. And catch statements. So what sort of catch statements am I supposed to put there? E print stack trace. And line is null. Okay, whatever. Catch statements, print stack trace. So that's the thing, and if I say something like a boolean, I can set a boolean whether there was an error, something like a, I don't know whether I'm doing it right here, boolean error is false. So let's suppose there was no error, but if you catch an exception, then set error to true, and then I only say if there were no errors, basically, right? If not error, then you do this. Is that how you do it? I have no idea. If not error, and else, I don't know, don't do anything. How about the if? What's the how do you structure the if statement here in this language? If else, if else. Syntax might need some work. So what might need some work? Don't you think it's probably not how you do it, right? Maybe I don't really need this Boolean error, because if it has an error, it executes this catch thing, these catch statements. And if it doesn't catch an error, it will skip all this, right? But how do I make sure that after it catches an error, it doesn't continue in this program process? Well, I could put all this into the try thing, right? I guess I could. And if it catches an error in the first line, it would probably cease to execute the further lines, jump to exception, or how does it work? Or if it catches an error in this line, would it try to execute this before it gets to the catch and thing? How does it work in these sort of programs? Oh, if not error, if not error probably needs this, right? Oh, if not doesn't exist. If is it like this? Yeah, if not error, then we can have this. I'll check if there is not a more readable syntax for not operators, bitwise operators. Inequality, not equal, logical not. No, the only way to write logical not is by the exclamation mark. Okay, so if no error, then it will execute all this. So let's try this. Catch, unable catch, unreachable catch block for IO exception. What does that ever mean? This exception is never thrown from the try statement body. Okay, that's interesting. What about an exception just like that? Yeah, that's fine. So, and now if I mess up the web address, for example, and see something, then let's try to. So it thrown an exception, and it debugger is busy. We want to step, continue, play. Okay, I don't get it. Why did it null pointer exception? So I'm not sure now whether we are actually wait, I might want to stop the debugging mode and run it in the normal mode. Yeah, that's probably what I want. Right. So now it unknown host exception. That's good. That's good. I got this is the whole exception stack I got from this print stack trace. That's basically this print stack trace. If I say instead not print stack trace but print line, and I say something happened, then it will print something happened, right? But only if an error happens. Okay, it wrote the stack anyway. It wrote the error stack anyway. Huh. So why do I even need print stack trace? And it even prints the stack trace. Well, it's not normal. What if I say, what if I do this? Stop and run. It still prints file is missing or inaccessible. Make sure URL is valid. Yeah, the stack won't be shown in Arduino anyway. I know. So error is true. Well, whatever. So I don't really need these, right? I don't even need the error is true, do I? Do I need anything in here? Null pointer. Okay, now I got null pointer exception. Because if not error, yes. Even if error happened, the Boolean error is So it tries to do this and it gets null pointer exception. Yeah, wonderful. So I do need this. At least it skips over the wrong part. Yeah, that's good. Good. So yeah, what did we learn? So now I have some sort of error handling. It might not be the best in the world. There are probably better ways to do this, but just in case we don't get any meaningful XML or unparsable XML from the server, we don't do anything bad. We don't do anything in this block. We could, yes, you're true. You're right. We could give it a pause, and then try again in 2 minutes or something. Yep. We could have a loop there. So try, but actually I'm not even intend. I do not even intend to load. Have a loop and loading this query, because this website actually has I can show you. Oh, come on. Properties. Why can't I? Web services. That is strange. Okay, delete this. Window capture. Why can't I just have a browser window? So this web page, not only it offers these events, which I'm doing right now. I'm querying a server which serves me an XML, but I think in the end I will not do that. I will use a this near real-time notification, which works over a WebSocket. I mean, I just learned that WebSocket is some sort of a real-time communication between server and client. There is an example. So how to do a WebSocket in sock.js in JavaScript, which I won't do, but I might do a Python-based WebSocket like this, that I define my own WebSocket to their service, and this WebSocket will have actually a real-time updates. So everything they get a new earthquake event. This WebSocket will send me information. Okay, there's a new event, you know, and I might get then the XML from the WebSocket instead. I'm not sure whether I will use it, whether it will work like I'm imagining, but I think that's how it could work in the end. Would probably be the best, but that's for another chapter. I have got as far as parsing an XML, which I wanted to parse. I wanted to learn how to parse XML with this. This is what I can. I have some sort of error handling, and now we see the Southern California or wherever it was event is no longer there. We have another earthquake, but in the meantime, so every couple of minutes there is an earthquake. There's like every 10 or 15 minutes there's an earthquake. It would be nice ticker for distraction. Arduino, which whenever I happen to look at it, I might see some sort of an current earthquake information on there. Yeah. So that's for today. So now I can go to sleep. It's 1 a.m. I couldn't just fall asleep because I learned just about this possibility, and I got the idea I might want to get an Arduino gadget which would display current earthquake information, and I could get this from this portal, and yeah. So I was too excited to fall asleep until I try myself, and I'm happy that I have learned to navigate through this XML object structure. So thanks for joining, and I'll keep you updated on this little project. So have a good night. Yeah, of course, once you can know to parse XML, you can parse any type of XML. It doesn't have to be earthquake information. It can be whatever. And if I learn WebSockets, who knows what I can do with that.